So if you are not employed and you are busy applying and you never get any feedback, you never get called for an interview, chances are there. One of the reasons could be because you are not employed. You are not working. A CV with a person who's not employed is a concerning CV. Employers don't want people who come to their workplace and they become learners or students. That is why you don't get many jobs offering internship, because internship by nature, you are there to train to learn the job so that you can now be employed fully. So people don't have time for that. They want people who come to a company, they help in resolving the matters or the issues of the company. Friends, this is Dr. Chi here, and I welcome you to our channel, Living Life to the Fullest. Today I want to talk to you about a topic that is very, I would say, sensitive, because most of the people are affected by unemployment. If you look at the state South Africa, there are people who have even gave up from looking for work because they've actually lost hope from the system. And I want to talk to you, particularly if you are youth and you are unemployed, even if you are an adult but you are unemployed, or you are a student concerned about employability, what will happen when you graduate? Or you are perhaps a graduate and you are still starting to look for a job. So I want to speak to you just to give you some career advice or tips that can help you get employed as soon as possible, or get employed as quick as possible. Now you will understand that unemployment is a big issue in South Africa. So before I get into the topic of today, I want to encourage you. If you are new to this channel and you have not subscribed, I encourage you that right now, before I start, just hit on the subscribe button at the bottom. Subscribe now before I start, and hit the bell notification so that every time I release a video that pertains to careers, that pertains to employment, that pertains to salaries, HR-related matters, or life in general, to help you live your life to the fullest, you can be able to get notification. So hit the bell at the bottom as well, and you will be able to get the notification. And I want to encourage you, as you watch the video and you have a question, whatever question that you have, you feel like you want me to address those questions, feel free to write a comment at the bottom of this video. Put your comments there, and I will be able to reply to you with a response to the question that you have. So I encourage you that engage with the video, let it be as interactive as possible. Now, I want to get into the topic, and before I do that, I just want to show you a bit of stats, data, so that we can be able to understand, because we are living at the time where data is one of the most crucial things that we refer to every time we speak about matters of life. So I want us to look into this data of the African continent, and South Africa in particular, as an example that will guide us why I want to give you the tips that I'm going to give you. Let's look into this data. Okay, now this is the data I wanted us to look at. I wanted to show you that when you look at unemployment rate in Africa as of 2022 by country, you will notice that South Africa is at the top of highest percentage of people who are unemployed. You will see there Swatini is number 3. I'm just looking at the countries which you might be familiar with. Lesotho comes out at number 4, followed by Botswana, Congo, and as you go down there, you will see Nigeria far there at the bottom. I think Nigeria, there's a lot of economic activities there. That is why I think maybe so low. And at the bottom you get Kenya, you get Zimbabwe. Well, I didn't even think Zimbabwe has got so low a rate of unemployment. Then you've got Ghana, Senegal, Niger. So you can see South Africa, we are at the top of unemployment rate in the country. We are ranking at 33.51%, which means 33.51% of South Africans are unemployed. These are people who are employable. These are people who actually qualify to be doing some form of a job, or to be in employment. Now, I want to take it further and look at the profile of the people who are unemployed. And I want you to look here, and this is very important because most of the time when we speak about education, studying, and the importance of it, I think people still do not understand why we emphasize going to school. I'm not saying that is the only solution, but I'm just wanting to show you that people who have less than a matric, or people who don't have a matric, they are 40.1%. That's 40.1% of the percentage that we saw, of the 33% that we saw who are unemployed, which means the majority of people who are unemployed, they don't even have matric. Now, when we look at those with just a matric, these are the people without any post-matric qualification. 35.0%. These are the people who have matric but they're unemployed. And other tertiary, these are people who have got some form of tertiary education or post-matric education. 23.3%, they are unemployed. And you will see there the lowest percentage of people who are unemployed are graduates. But what you'll notice is that the lesser the level of education, the higher the number of unemployment, with the graduates being the one. These are people who have got diplomas, degrees, graduates of all kinds. They fall under 10.2%. What this tells us is that the more, or when a person is employed or is qualified, or is a graduate rather, has got a higher chances of employment than a person without a qualification at all, or a person with just a matric. So this is important because, you know, the stats can lie. What we are getting from the stats is that education still has a particular role that it plays in terms of employment. But I want to take it further as well, and which is the saddest part, where we look at who are these people, what is the profile of these people who are unemployed. And I want you to see there, the minority of them are 55 years and above, and until 64. And then as you go down, you'll realize that the majority of unemployed people, 61.4%, they are between the age of 15 and 24. So these are the people who are either they dropped out of school, or they just finished matric, or they don't even have matric, but they don't have some form of graduation. Some they might have short course and whatever, because at 24 you might have finished a degree or even a postgraduate, maybe at honors level, if you finished on time. So, but majority of people who are unemployed, they're actually within this range. And I think this age range, I think this is important because we must think about the people of that particular age group. What are their perception about employment? Because at that age as well, I think most of the time you will know you are still a bit choosy about what you want to do. And what I've noticed is that, and this is just my perception from working with people in practice and assessing people and speaking to young people, I've realized majority of young people, they don't want to waste time in education, just using their own ways. They don't want studying for long, they want quick fix approach. And that actually leads to a situation where either they never find stable employment, you find somebody's employed just for 6 months, so they get quick jobs that just give them money and then the job stops. So they don't have stability due to lack of qualification. I think that could be one of the the issue that comes in. But as you grow older, 25 and 34, you will notice that, especially if you are 25 and above, you'll realize the older you become, the more your options become less in terms of jobs. Because the minute you go older, I mean, some of you, you start to have kids, you start to have responsibilities, and the minute that happens, you start to not want to waste time, but at least find some form of work so that you can be able to provide for yourself and your family. Thank you, friends. So you have just seen on the statistics that education plays a role, but also there's a high number of young people who are unemployed, and that is why I'm making this video. This video basically is to give you some career advice or career tips that can help you make sure that you enter into the job market and be sure that you don't add into the statistics. Now, the first tip that I will give you when it comes to career, I've just made a statement before while I was still showing you that slide, that majority of people who are unemployed, they're actually young people or the youth. But I've showed you that age-wise, the people who, the older you become, or as you age, your options seems to be limited, because at times you find that your responsibilities become more. Some of you find you've got a kid, you need to support your kid, you find your parents are no longer able to support you, so you tend to now feel the burden of the responsibilities on you, and you need to make decisions. So that is why as the people go older, you realize that they've got limited options. As you are younger, you might say, I want to work there, I don't want to work there, so you become a bit choosy. But the older you become, you realize you don't have an option to make much decisions. So my advice to you is that, given the context, given the steps that I've just showed you, in psychology, we used to often advise people to say, do what you love. But I've realized that the more you look at the economic status of the country, it is not always possible to get a job that you love or you've got interest in, because most of the time you don't even have options. You find the job that you love, it doesn't love you. You can't force it to love you, or there are no opportunities in the job that you love. My first advice to you is that if you are unemployed, take the first available job that you can find. Any job that is available to you, I would advise you take that job. If you are not working, you have no income, you have no source of income, you are sitting at home frustrated, you don't know what to do, even if it means working in the shop as a teller or working as a whatever job that you can find, get that job. In HR or in the workplace, there's a word that they use a lot. They like saying, we want a person who will hit the ground running. Managers usually use this word when they're going to employ. They want a person who will hit the ground running. What that basically implies is that they want to employ the person who will get into the employment and be able to do the job. Employers don't want people who come to their workplace and they become learners or students. That is why you don't get many jobs offering internship, because internship by nature, you are there to train, to learn the job, so that you can now be employed fully. So people don't have time for that. They want people who come to a company, they help in resolving the matters or the issues of the company. So if you are not employed and you are busy applying and you never get any feedback, you never get called for an interview, chances are there, one of the reasons could be because you are not employed, you are not working. A CV with a person who's not employed is a concerning CV, because that could suggest if they employ you, they have to teach you the job. So my advice, first recommendation, get any job, even if it means working at somebody's practice or helping in a shop. You just need to write that in a nicer way on the CV to show that you are employed. I mean, imagine that you only have a matric and you want to be in administration, for example. You want to be a teller, you want to be whatever. I will say, go anywhere you can get a job. Go to ShopRite, go to Spar, go to retail, anywhere you can get a job. So that when you apply, at least your CV can show that you are working somewhere. And if they employ you for that particular post, they know that they're not going to teach you, this is a computer, you touch it like this and that. They already know you understand at least the basics of a computer. You understand the basics of, a teller machine. You understand the basics of the job that you're applying for, administration, using Excel, using that and that. So make sure, get any job that you can find. That makes it easy with the employer who wants a person to hit the ground running. Every manager will tell you this. The reason you are not being called, you are applying, could be that you are not working anywhere. Your CV has got unemployment even on it. Some of you are not even ashamed. You even write unemployed for 2 years, unemployed for 5 years. Your CV must not have that, because that is what is going to scare the employer. When they look at you, they're going to look at you as a burden. That if they employ you, they must teach you. Employers are not a university or a college. They don't want to employ you and teach you job. Your job, you must learn it at the university or at the higher education. They want to employ you to do the job. You are not being employed to be a student. You are employed to do the job. Second advice, get a job. I said get a job, any job. The second advice is, when you do get a job, whether you like it or you don't like it, start to put money or invest in what you like. Invest in what you like. Basically, I hear people speak about side hustle and all that. Sometimes because of the economic status or situation that we find ourselves in, the job that you might have, you might not like it. So use whatever that you are getting from there. After you have done the basic, obviously if you don't like your job, you need to live a life that is very restricted so that you don't focus on spending unnecessary. You want to save and spend money on what you want to do. If you get a job and your desire is business, go to your job, but when you come back, make sure that you invest in what you like. I mean, I'm working, but I come back, I do things like this which I like, and fortunately I like my job. So this is just an addition of other things that I like, which I do on the side. But if you don't like your job, you need to invest in what you like after 4 o'clock. Make sure that after 4, when you get a salary, if you want to be a musician, for example, you want to record your own album, you want to be on TV, you want to do that, you buy a camera, you buy a nice phone with the money that you get from the job that you don't like, and then you use your nice phone which you bought, you have invested maybe about 16,000, 10,000. You use that money to buy a good quality phone or a good quality camera or a good system in order to record a demo or in order to record videos that you can take to radio stations, you can take to TV station and pitch your idea. If you want to be an actor, if you want to be on TV, for whatever that you want to do, this nowadays, you don't need to go to varsity to be on TV, but at least you need to have an agent. But you find that you can't afford an agent because you're not working. So you get a job you don't like so that you can be able to pay an agent who will be able to call you every time there's an opportunity. You don't need to be seeking. You know, some of you don't know where to start with acting, where to start with being on TV. Get an agent, it will make it quicker. But to do that, you need to be able to pay some form, or some of them will arrange with you to say you only pay when you get placed. But in order to be able to do the payments, get a job that you might not like, but at least it will provide you with the necessities that you need for life. And then pay an agent who will be able to inform you. Others, it could be you want to further your studies. You get a job that you don't like, and you correspond with distance education, online education. This nowadays, you can even study online. And one of the videos I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the growth in free online courses that you can do. You pay nothing. I'm going to do a video on that. And give me, write comments at the bottom if you like a video on that. So I want you to comment at the bottom. Whatever that you want to get clarity on, comment at the bottom. I think I've given you a step. So number 2, I want you to make sure that you invest in what you like. You might be doing the job you don't like, but spend your money on what you like. Then number 3, work harder. Work very hard. Because if you are going to have a job from morning until 4, and later you must be able to do what you like, you need to ensure that you work twice as hard. Because for you not to compromise your job, the morning job, but for you also not to compromise what you do after 4, you need to work twice as hard, especially if you are young. You know, as a young person, naturally a young person has got a strength from the Lord. Naturally, a young person, you have got a strength that you will not have as an adult. That is why you can wake up in the morning, walk up and down, go to town, walk up and down, deliver CV, do that. An adult might not have that energy. So when you are young, make sure that you use your energy. It's a God-given gift to you as a young person. If there's a time where you need to hustle, it is a time when you are still young, particularly if you are younger than 30 years. It's the time for you to hustle. That's the time you need to be working harder. If you invest more time on yourself, if you invest in hustling before you are 30, I can assure you, your 30 and above will never be the same than somebody who did nothing. The minute you're above 30, it becomes difficult. Responsibilities are more. That time you are having your own house, or you are staying in a flat, or you are no longer staying at home, you find that you've got a lot of responsibilities, or you are married, or you've got a child, you have a lot of responsibilities. So when you are young, use the strength that you have while you are young to be able to invest in what you want to do, the life that you want to live. Don't say, I will do it later. And I want you to comment, because some of you will think, I wish I had money, Let money not be an obstacle. If you comment, ask questions, I will be able to guide you, even in the absence of money. What can you do? Because sometimes you find, I was telling somebody the other day, that at universities, and I'm going to tell you about this, I'm going to do a video about this sometime, they've got what they call entrepreneurship in higher education, where one of the programs they have, they call it intervarsity competition, where entrepreneurs from different universities, they compete, and the winner can actually get up to 100,000 to fund their businesses. This happened at higher education. They're starting to introduce it at colleges. So you can just imagine, you are a student and you invest in your business at higher education. Already you've got a potential to win up to 100,000. I think the run-ups can get about 30 or 20,000. But the point is that there are opportunities already at varsity for you to build it towards your business while you are studying. You don't need to wait to have your own money or to start working. There are opportunities that are available. Other opportunities are in government. So you need to know, where are the opportunities that I can take advantage of before I have even my own money. So you need to know that the first advice that I'm giving you as we wrap up, get any job that you can get. It will be easier for employers to consider you when you are working. Number 2, I said you need to hustle to be able to do what you love. Number 1, get any job, whether you like it or you don't like it, as long as it pays you, as long as it provides for you. I'm telling you, majority of people, they do what they don't like. A job has got a way to motivate you. Have you noticed that even if you are lazy, even if you wake up at 10, you have no energy, nothing motivates you to wake up in the morning. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, Have you noticed that if you can get a job tomorrow and they say you must be there 8 o'clock and you must take a taxi for 30 minutes or an hour, from tomorrow, the day you get your job, you'll wake up at 6 in the morning. What has motivated you? A job. A job has got an opportunity, has got the potential to motivate you. So get the job. Any job that you can get, just get the job. And when you are young, I said number 2, you've got the energy. God has given you energy. That strength, that energy that you have as a young person, you need to use it as a gift to help you achieve what you want to achieve. Make sure that you use that strength. When you are still young, go up and down, get information, study, go to the library, do anything that is available. Every opportunity that is available, make sure that you enter those opportunities. And lastly, I said work twice as hard compared to a person who might not be in your situation. You get a job, after 4, you continue working. One of the biggest enemy of people is television. Make sure that you avoid spending unnecessary time on television. Videos like this are the one that will help you. Television, watching soapies, they are nice to relax, but they should not take the rest of your day. From 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you find you are on a TV until 10 o'clock. Something is not right. Your life might not change. If you want transformation, you need to change the way you do things. So I encourage you that you watch this video again, take notes, and understand the 3 tips that I'm giving you in order to come out of your situation. Whether you are an unemployed person, you are a student, you are a graduate, or you are just starting with your career and you just want to understand how to approach it, use these tips. I encourage you that you share this video with other friends, share the video, share with them, let them be able to apply these tips. And I've also said, if you are not yet a subscriber, hit the bell, the subscribe button at the bottom. Subscribe to the channel so that you can be able to get every video that we share. And also hit the bell so that every time I post a video, you can get a notification. But lastly, make sure that you comment at the bottom. Any question that you have, I will attend to it. I told you that the whole purpose of this channel is so that you can live a fulfilling life. So when you comment, when you engage with these videos, I'm able to know other questions that you have, other concerns that you have, and other topics that you want me to take it in order to address your issues. So make sure that you leave your comment, you leave your questions, and I will be able to attend to them. Enjoy the rest of the day and understand that God wants us to live a fulfilling life. Keep well and enjoy the rest of your day.